brilliant form. It's when you're halfway through the season and you're top of the league.
Yeah, completely. I think today he put in a fantastic performance, and he done both sides of the game. He defended well, but also he had an effect at the other end of the pitch in terms of creating chances, putting the keeper under pressure with shooting from outside the box. But he can do all the frilly stuff. I think the big difference in his game recently has been that he plays quick. He gets the ball, makes a decision, and then plays. And he's not dilly-dallying on the ball, taking too many touches, playing slow, giving people chances to get at him and take the ball off him.
Liverpool or Man City, they're playing now. It's Fulham away, who are doing okay. That's his touch, Matt. 99 touches, but his average position was as the deepest line. He was further back than Fred. So that says to me, he can do that role. He can get around the pitch. He can score goals from that position. People say, does he play on the left-hand side? He's a magnificent player. And that clip at the end, Pogba hugging Cavani, that's Manchester United. That's stars there, right there.
I think that what I'm seeing at the moment is that I still don't think Ole completely trusts him in the centre of midfield, in that position he played today against the bigger teams. When the ball turns over in transition and the other teams are breaking with the likes of Mane and Salah, the pace that these teams break with, and the efficiency and with how they finish, you're not going to get time to get back. The game's over, 2 or 3 down before you can recover in the big game. So he plays him out of those areas and takes a bit of responsibility away from him. Whereas in this game, they feel they're going to dominate possession. They feel that they're going to get more chances and have more chances to create things. From deeper areas, he can do that. And they're not going to be punished as much maybe in these games, so he can allow him to do it. And I think that's where he is at the moment with him. But I agree, Paul Pogba is a magnificent footballer. And when he's in this form, he's one of the best.
And you know him relatively well. How would he have found it this season, the criticism, the nonsense with the agent, seeing all the praise for Bruno not being as involved as he would have liked?
He would have been jealous. His ego would have taken a battering. His pride would have been hurt. But I speak to him a fair amount on the phone and stuff. And one thing that doesn't change with him is that he loves football. He wants to win. He loves the game. And he wants a chance to showcase his talents. And he's been given the opportunity to do that now. And you're seeing what he can do.
So in the big games then, you're Manchester United manager, you're playing at Liverpool, you're playing at Man City, you've got title deciders. Do you play Pogba in the 2, as with McTominay, for instance, and Fernandes? Or do you play a McTominay and a Fernandes and Pogba out left, where he might not be as influential, and then you're taking away the 2 wide players with the pace if Cavani plays central?
I think each whatever opposition you're playing against will throw up different problems for you.
If it was Liverpool or Man City or Spurs in the title decider,
I would listen. I saw Paul Pogba grow up. I watched him in training every day, and I saw his talents firsthand. And I think he's capable of playing in there in the midfield. I think he is. You give him a job to do. You tell him this is the remit. Go and do it. And I think that if he's got the platform and the players around him that allow him to thrive in there, he can do it. He's an absolute massive, massive talent. Great footballer, hasn't been as consistent as he would like, as the Man United fans would have liked over the years he's been there. But right now, Man United are top of the league, and he's one of the most important players.
And finally, from your conversations with him, do you sense that everything that's been going on this season is a bit of fuel now for him?
Top players use negative press, negative attention as fuel. That's what they do. You look at all of them down at that, over the years. They love that intensity. They love the microscope on them, whether it's good or bad, because they use it to fuel that passion inside. But you can't use that as fuel and for the passion if you're not getting the opportunity. The difference is now he's getting the opportunity. He's on the pitch.
Talking of opportunities, how much does Ole need to make sure the man he gives a big opportunity to up front for the rest of the season is Cavani? Like, would you start Cavani now?
Yeah, people say about his age, you know, he's similar to Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy starts every single week for Leicester City. I don't think another player at Manchester United scores that goal. If Martial plays as a 9, Rashford plays as a 9, or Greenwood plays as a 9, they're not in that position. We said, 409 goals in his career, 358 in league games. He knows the goalkeeper's going to parry that out. He's there, and he smashes it in real, doesn't he?
What I love about him is he's on the move. For a defender, he's a nightmare. Because whether he's involved or not, he's keeping you occupied because he's moving constantly. And for a defender, that uneasy as defenders. Someone who stands still and who's static, or the ball's wide, who just stands there. Like we showed a clip of Silva for Man City before, when the ball's wide. doesn't make a move, makes it easy for the defender. When someone moves in and around the box, for a defender, you're unnerved and you're thinking, where am I?
We've seen that with the header when he laid it off and JJ said in commentary ran into the box. That header, great save.
And the thing when I was harping on about it and banging his drum to go and get him was for one reason, that he would be able to show the current crop of great young talents that we've got in Martial, Rashford and Greenwood, who are strikers, how to move in the 18-yard box when the ball's around wide areas to get more goals.
And as you know, the stakes are going to be higher than ever in the second half of the season. Proven winners who've been there, done it, got the experience. That's what you need now in the spine of that team.
Yeah, and he adds that. He's won countless trophies. He's a fantastic footballer who knows how to get over the line when he's involved in a title.
Use the word trust, OK? So if you're a manager, can I trust him? Is he now proving you can trust him?
Going that way, yeah. Going that way, I would never have him as a disciplined centre midfield player. And the problem is, Bruno Fernandes has got that shirt of being the attacking maverick that doesn't really need to pick anyone up. You see him on the right wing, you see him on the left wing, you see him as a number 10. He does what he wants, Bruno, and you can't stop that now because he's scoring all the goals and he's creating all the goals. So that's that position wrapped up. Now, what's left? If it's two sitting midfielders behind Bruno, then you're asking about trust? No, is the answer. Going that way, yes. Against Fulham, yes, because you've probably got 70% of the ball most of the time. So, yeah, you can probably get away with it.
So your point is, away at Anfield on Sunday,
no way.
He couldn't trust him to play as an 8?
Well, proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
What did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer do? And I tell you what, he nearly cost them 3 times in the first half. Because Andy Robertson, one, he put in an awful cross when he was in a great position, which is very unlike him. And then twice Firmino never played him in when he was on for a shot on goal. Could have cost him even when they shoved him out to the left side. So can you trust him in the big games in certain positions? No. But if you build a team to try to make it fine and just have him as an attacking player, absolutely.
You know, it's interesting. We're talking about a guy that's won the World Cup, and we're asking, can you trust him? It's almost laughable, really, because the guy, he's proven that.
So your answer is yes.
Yeah, because he was the leader of that France team, by the way, in the dressing room, vocally, for that generation.
Yeah, no, I get all that, but what you guys were basing your question on was his performance in the red shirt since he signed.
No, I'm his fan, but I think he's been inconsistent. I don't think it's gone the way he envisioned. I don't think it's gone the way Manchester United envisioned. But his talent is undeniable, and he's proven that you can trust him if the balance around him is good. Do United have a team to win the league? Do you think? Good enough, talent-wise, since he's been there?
I'm here to ask the question. No,
Mo, do you think so? Do you think they've had a team talented enough to win the league since he's been there? Better than City or Liverpool?
No, definitely not.
Exactly. So they don't, right? So all the pressure is on Paul to carry this team. But when the talent is there at Juventus and France, he's done it. So get the personnel right. I have a couple of good transfer windows. Bruno was a great addition. He's helped Paul now. So Bruno does his bit, Paul does his bit. But now I think they need to specialise in, okay, what do we need? We need a centre-back. We need a defensive midfield player. We need maybe a right-back that can add a bit more in terms of creativity. And if we don't have the money, then let's just tell the fullback to sit in. So I think Paul can be trusted if the personnel is right around him. And I think he can be more consistent because his talent, should do that. But
because they have equalled a club record tonight, 17 unbeaten away from home. That equals, nonetheless, the treble-winning team of 98-99. And as I mentioned earlier on, just because you go ahead against Manchester United doesn't mean you're going to get points, because look at that. They have gained the most points from losing positions, 21 of them. All of those 21 points, incidentally, have been gained away from Old Trafford. Next best, Liverpool with 10. And Leicester with 8. So that begs the question, Owen, are you now seeing a change of mentality about this Manchester United group?
I think they're improving. I think I heard Ole Gunnar say before the game that the team's growing. I think it is growing. You think the way they went to Anfield the other day, they played with way more personality than they have in the past. So I think that there are good signs, but if I think back to the game they played against Villa on January 1st, I think possession-wise, that was Old Trafford. That was 50-50. Today, that game, Fulham had some good moments in the game, and towards the end, probably could have got something, if they kept pushing. So I think in terms of dominating games where they should dominate, like a Villa or like a Fulham, where you expect them, with all those ball players, to dominate possession. On the counter, we've seen best team in Europe, absolutely almost unplayable. start slow and the home form is poor. But can they bully teams and dominate teams like the great United teams used to? You know, that's what I think Ole's working towards, and that's why you play Paul and Bruno together, because if they get more touches, they're going to affect games. They'll win.
Do you have to dominate all the games to win the league?
To win the league, you have to have better home form. That's for certain. So at home, you'd say you tend to dominate the ball, and if you start slow and you don't dominate the possession, then I don't think you can win the league. But the big difference from this season to last is they're the second highest scorers this season. Last year they were 20, 30 goals behind Man City and Liverpool. So goal scoring has improved. And that gets you up the table. But I think the home form is going to be a huge one.
Is that the big area for you? I mean, as I say, all those points. It's a terrific club record. They've equalled tonight away from home. But the concern is at Old Trafford, where they're asked the question to try and dominate the game, like Owen says?
Yeah, I think they've mastered the counter-attack. They're absolute masters of that. I mean, they've showed in the Champions League, they've showed multiple times over the years at the Etihad. They've frustrated Liverpool at times at Anfield. They can certainly do that with the best of them. I think Owen said best counter-attacking team in the world. I mean, it's a good debate, but they're right up there. What they've needed to do and what they've begun to do now with the introduction of Fernandes is now that they can actually play in the opponent's half and create things, little prizy balls and different things like that to open up a packed defence. That's their next job, and they're well on the way to doing that. I thought they were way off it only 6 months ago, a year ago, but now they look as if they're well on the way to be able to do that. And against Fulham tonight, they weren't necessarily counter-attacking, they were pressing. The first goal is they lose the ball, Fred, boom, in there, in the final third, winning the ball back, another attack. Lose the ball, another attack. And if you can keep winning the ball high, as soon as you lose the ball, boom, defending numbers or attacking numbers, as you might want to call it, then all of a sudden you're well on your way. And I think that's what Ole's building to now. And it's all of a sudden looking as if, he's got a shot at this title now. I mean, I wouldn't have thought it at the start of the season. But now you have to say that the Manchester United have got a right chance.
And with game management, and when we've seen 2 midweek games running, Burnley away, and they threw everything at them. Fulham had a little flurry at the end there, but they've seen these games out. They're winning these games.
Yeah, and